Okay, we should be live. So let me thank you guys for tuning in. Please let us know if you can hear me and see me okay in the chat. And we're going to kick things off here. It looks like everyone's still joining, so we're going to give it a few more minutes. As you guys come in, please introduce yourselves into the chat on the right-hand side. As throughout the panel and everything, if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll make sure that they get answered towards the end. We'll do a Q&A. But we have a super exciting panel, obviously geared towards the no-code industry and fundraising for the no-code space. I'm joined here by Ryan, the host of No Code, No Problem. And yeah, so if you guys haven't been to one of our events before, my name is Michael. I'm the CEO of Entre, a social network for entrepreneurs. I'll be dropping some links into the chat here for you guys. We're all about helping entrepreneurs, and connecting entrepreneurs of all types. So we definitely love the no-code space, love all these creators and makers out there building cool products and software. And we have some of the top platforms here today. So we're super pumped to talk to Emmanuel, David, and Ryan about their products, their companies, and then how they've raised money. So we do a bunch of events, and we just got approved for the App Store for our app, which is basically a social network for the next generation of business, right? So we want to make it easier to find developers, investors, mentors, all of that stuff. Thank you guys for all joining. Travis, David, Nav, awesome guys. Rachel. All right, sweet. We got some people coming in. Okay. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to be dropping some links here in the chat for you guys to learn more about us, to get into the app. It's going to be invite only right now. But we're, slowly kind of giving access to people as we go. And I'll let Ryan here talk about his podcast and everything that he's doing and what he's working on in the no-code space. So, Ryan, I'll pass it over to you.
Hello. So I'm the host of No Code, No Problem, a podcast in the no-code space. And so basically, I just talk about tools and I interview founders. Nav, who spoke a few minutes ago in the chat, he's going to be on. Him and Mark are going to be on very soon, probably next week. So I'm excited to have them on board. But if you enjoy podcasts, I'm short form podcast. So I get the content across very quickly. But I'm also working on a thing called Maker Stands. I'm using Bubble, actually. Thank you, Emmanuel. And basically, it's a Twitch for makers. So if you're interested in that, just follow me on @NoCodeNoProblem on Twitter. So that's where I'm most active. But thank you all for coming, and I hope you enjoy the event.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Ryan. I'm gonna kick you off here, but you'll be hanging out in the chats and everything, so we'll be good. All right, and I am slowly going to start bringing up our speakers so they can introduce themselves and we can get some background on them. Real quick, I also want to mention as well, we are doing a startup pitch competition on May 20th. And this is going to be basically, we have over 130 companies that have applied right now. The deadline is Monday. The winner is going to get $1,000 cash. We're going to pick the top 6-7 companies to pitch to a panel of VCs and angel investors. And it's going to be awesome. So that is coming up. Let me drop the link in here for you guys. Okay, wait. No, I gotta redo this here. 1 second. Yeah, it's a little goofy. But basically, we're gonna do it on here. Winner's gonna get $1,000 cash. It's gonna be exciting. And let me start bringing up our speakers here. We have Ryan, David, and Emmanuel. So they all should be coming on. Emmanuel, if you can request to come on screen one more time. But I think Ryan, David, you guys all here?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay,
Hey,
fantastic. Okay, and Emmanuel should be coming on here.
Right.
Wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, this is awesome. I'm super pumped for this. We have a great group of founders and no coders. So I guess we'll start. We'll maybe go like this and start with Ryan, Emmanuel, then David. Ryan, you used to be a VC. Now you started your own no-code company. So walk us through, who you are, your background. Give us some backstory into yourself and how you got into everything, how you got into investing, and then how you kind of got into what you're doing now as well. And then we can kind of go down and share everyone's story too.
Yeah, for sure. I've got a funny background because I was originally an engineer at the very start of my career, and then I pretty quickly jumped into investing when I moved to the UK. The VC in London for many years with a firm called AGC Equity Partners. This was about 2010 to 2015, so sort of the dawn of mobile was when it was happening, and that was sort of our biggest investment theme. I then went back and did a master's degree in data science, and I went back to my technical roots so I could go and co-found Zenlytic, which is a no-code data science tool. And what Zenlytic does is it lets you ask sort of deep questions in your data without writing code. And for example, a lot of sort of BI analytics platforms, you can answer a what type question. What were my sales last quarter? Zenlytic is built to feel like you're having a conversation with a data scientist, so you can answer deeper questions. Why were my sales down last quarter? Even simply, how can I increase my sales? And it sort of takes those more complex questions. Feels like you're talking to a data scientist, but the data scientist is the no-code part basically, and that's what you do visually. I think I'm unique here because I'm uniquely positioned to be on this panel because I not only run a no-code business, I've been a no-coder myself for a long time in that technical hiatus. And then I spent some time on both sides of the table being an investor and having raised funds. Oh, Michael, you're muted.
Yep, I think.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, we're going to get into some really cool conversations about funding, and I'm excited to have you on, and your perspective is going to be really cool for this. Emmanuel, give us your backstory about yourself and Bubble and everything. I mean, you guys are on a tear right now, and I'm sure with everything going on, you guys are seeing a lot of people joining and kind of building these online tools. So fill us in, give us your backstory and the founding of Bubble.
Yeah, so I grew up like coding a little bit, but actually I went far from code for quite some time. I mean, the last line of code I wrote before starting Bubble again was when I was 19, and then I started Bubble at 29. So I had 10 years where I basically, was doing other things. I was a management consultant in Asia for a few years, and I got to business school in the US, which was my entry point to the US. And it's actually that experience in business school that led me to meet my co-founder, Josh, who had started the company at that time. And I decided to join him like 3 months in or something. We started this company really, at that time, it was not called NoCode at all. In fact, it was not cool because it was, when Code Academy was the hottest startup in New York. Like Barack Obama, was telling people they should learn how to code. It was like a different age, like that people have forgotten that a little bit. But in 2012, even though a lot of people were trying to learn how to code, we still felt like there was a huge gap in the market, which I think was more visible in a city like New York than in Silicon Valley, because it was, you have a lot of like people that are domain experts in New York that know very well their domains, but don't know how to code. And they wanted to implement, whether it was a startup or a project, using software, using their knowledge and software to improve some processes, and they were not able to do it. And so we started the company in 2012 thinking these people should be able to start, launch a project and start their startups without engineers. And so it's been quite a while. I mean, it was in 2012, so it's been 8 years now that we've been on this. with Webflow, we're probably the first player in the new no-code wave of tools. Even the Webflow, for people that follow them, actually, they were not no-code at all in the early days because they actually were generating code, and that was the product they were selling. So they changed a little bit there. On our end, we actually didn't change. So for the last 8 years,